Hi, I'm Jim Gordon, and you're watching Market 1 Minute. Joining us is Christopher Moreau, CEO and Director of Algernon Pharmaceuticals. Christopher, welcome back.
Thanks, Jim. Nice to be back.
Good to have you, sir. Okay, tell us more about Algernon's exciting DMT program for the treatment of stroke.
Well, Algernon is investigating a known psychedelic drug called DMT, N,N-dimethyltryptamine. It's a naturally occurring psychedelic drug, and it has been found in preclinical studies to help neurons grow. This is a process called neuroplasticity. It's an important part of the healing process after a stroke. And so there was enough evidence there that Algernon decided to investigate the drug now for the treatment of stroke.
And what are the current treatment options for stroke patients today?
I think people would be very surprised to learn that there are very few options. So there are two kinds of stroke: a hemorrhagic stroke, which is a bleed in the brain, and an ischemic stroke, which is a blockage. About 85% of strokes are a blockage. Of the 85%, there's really only treatment options for about 15%, and that includes a clot-busting drug or the mechanical removal of the clot. That means that 85% of patients are in the ICU under a program called watchful waiting. They're hoping that the stroke will resolve on its own, that there'll be a minimal deficit, and they can start rehab for those patients. As a result, this will be estimated to be a $15 billion market by the year 2029. So there's a huge need for new treatment options.
So DMT offers a new way of thinking about stroke treatments. What are you hoping for this drug?
Well, there literally have been hundreds of drugs that have failed in stroke clinical trials, and what they've been trying to focus on is something called neuroprotective measures. They're trying to protect the neurons during the injury, and none of them have worked. Some of them have worked in animal models, but they just don't translate well in the clinic. This is a new way of thinking about stroke treatment. We believe, based on the evidence, that DMT can help the brain heal. And when you've had a stroke and you end up with some type of deficit, cognitive, motor function, maybe you're having trouble with your sight or hearing, the brain in the first 4.5 weeks really tries to heal by creating new neural pathways around the damaged area, and DMT is showing that it helps that healing process, so it's quite exciting.
And Christopher, can you talk about Algernon's upcoming clinical trial?
So Algernon is planning a phase 1 clinical trial. This is a trial that's typically done in healthy patients. We are delivering an intravenous dose of DMT. We are not providing a psychedelic dose. That's also an important part of our program. If you've had a stroke, you've had an injury, and it's intuitive that you don't want to be sending somebody on a psychedelic journey. And in the preclinical data, it's showing that DMT is actually working in the brain on neuroplasticity at a subpsychedelic dose. So we are going into a phase 1 not because we're concerned about the safety of DMT. It's been studied many times before, many phase 1 trials. But we are providing 60 patients. Half will be psychedelic experienced, half will be psychedelic naive. And we're going to provide them an ascending dose up to the subpsychedelic level for 6, 12, and longer periods of time. That's never been done before. This is informative for us and will help us as we plan our phase 2 trial.
Okay, and lastly, when do you estimate the company will be able to test DMT on real stroke patients?
Well, so Algernon, being the first company in the world to actually investigate DMT for stroke, we talked a bit about phase 1. Phase 2 is now where you get to treat patients that you're intending to provide a therapeutic benefit to. And so I would think that we could be in a phase 2 trial as early as next year. We will be focusing on those patients in the ICU who are under watchful waiting. They have no treatment options. And that's where we'll be able to provide them with DMT and a placebo and see how they do compared to the patients that are being treated. But in this case, the standard of care is no treatment at all. And so that's probably where we're going to focus.
Christopher, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Jim.
Hi, I'm Jim Gordon. Thanks for watching this Market 1 Minute on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with other videos that we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click on this list to see other great videos from Market 1. And thank you again for watching.